GM, and welcome to From A to Z. I've got a grand concept I'm going to try to convey here. It's going to have a bunch of little things, and it's kind of a vision into the way I see things going based on the way things currently are. And I mean this in terms of data. All right, so money is an abstraction. It is a proxy for goods and services, essentially. And that's why it's such a great human coordination technology, is because it allows someone that does a good a service or has a good to be able to buy other goods and services indirectly. So money being an abstraction that allows us to do that is an unlock for a global society. Bitcoin as proof of work is the idea that, Bitcoin, the reason Bitcoin is so important, or blockchain is so important, is because it is an immutable ledger. It is a financial system we can trust because nobody can alter the blocks after they've been written, or while they're being written. No one can alter the blocks, so to speak. Basically, whoever is writing the block at that moment has to be able to solve a very complicated mathematical problem that burns up a lot of energy on their computer. And that is called proof of work. So Bitcoin rests on the idea of proof of work, and the network is being secured by the energy that it uses to secure the network. This is one of the reasons that people are so against Bitcoin, because proof of work is energy intensive. I will just side note say that most Bitcoin mining services are now, there's not a whole lot of individuals doing it anymore. It's mostly big companies, and a lot of them have found green ways to do it, meaning they're either using solar energy, they're using geothermal energy, they're tapping into unused energy, meaning like there's times in power grids and certain types of geothermal and other energy where there's energy waste, and that energy waste, instead of going to waste, that some companies have partnered with Bitcoin miners to capture that additional energy to mine Bitcoin. That's just a side note. It is important because kind of the reason I'm talking about is due to environmental stuff, but I'm talking more just about the data than the actual environmental impact. The reason is because it's going to happen, and that's kind of where I'm going with all this, is like, I want to discuss the environmental impact, and I think we need to be discussing it, but that's not what this right here is about. This is about, it's going to go that direction. So a big argument against AI is the data centers. I don't think that a lot of people understand that a data center does all kinds of data. So yes, there are new data centers being sprung up specifically for AI, but there are also AI on other data centers, and those data centers are the same data centers that host social media and Netflix and Amazon. AWS does everything. So my point being that, like, a data center is a data center, and data is data. So that's kind of what I was talking about with energy moralism, and being like, oh, like people who use AI or crypto are bad people, but people who use social media and streaming services are somehow like okay. Their energy consumption is okay because it's for entertainment and news. So the moralism around data and energy consumption around what you're allowed to do on your computer, I find very disingenuous. And the reason I'm saying that is because a data center is a data center. Data being done, whatever you're doing on your phone, this episode right here, like videos being stored, video games being played, like all save information, every social media video you've ever made, all of these things live in data centers, cloud storage, that's all of it. So these data centers are everything we do. So the moralism of it is like, unless you are not going to use this stuff, you can't tell other people like, oh, the way you use energy is not good, but the way I use energy is perfectly fine. it's not going to help us not produce more data centers, because the reality is, whether you're using AI or crypto or you know, you're watching Netflix, you're listening to Spotify, all these things produce new data centers. So it's going to happen. Like, and the reason I'm saying this is because you can think of, money is an abstraction. Money is an economy. You think of stocks and crypto as part of that now. And like, you think about this whole abstraction, and nobody has really looked at how, like, at least in the layman's like field, like most people don't think about how data is the new oil. Like, data is the thing that they're now investing in. Not, and it's because they can use that data against you. It can be used for, selling you things, tracking you. It can be used to put thoughts into your head. It's almost like Inception, in the sense that the greatest product sell is the product that you think that you had the idea on your own. Like, we know about the ad, but the deep sell, the deep thing that makes you, makes you think it was your own idea. And that is a lot of this political stuff. And it's one of those things that, like, you really have to be thinking and purging your own mind and looking at every piece of media you consume. All of us, every one of us, has to be questioning ourselves. And part of that is a psyop too. Don't question yourself to the point of insanity, to the point that your brain has fallen out, but know your morals, know your values, and more importantly, though, like, question your sources sometimes. Look at things and go, is this correct? Is this make sense? Why is this person telling me this? Why is this thing telling me this? Don't question yourself to the point that you can't believe anything, but do question yourself to the point that you know why you believe what you believe. So data being the new oil, that's kind of what's been going on with the stocks around like Uber and Netflix and all of these different things, because like they don't produce a lot of profit so much as they produce a lot of information. Same thing with Facebook and Google. Like, yes, they sell ad space, and here's the big kicker. Everybody's starting to get the idea that whether it's streaming or ads or comments or whatever, the internet is mostly dead. There's a lot of bots. People are paying for fake numbers, and everybody knows they're paying for fake numbers. We all know it's fooling us, but it's also fooling each other. Like, the investors are fooled by metrics. Everybody's looking at metrics. Everybody's looking and saying like, oh, how many views do you get? What's your click-through rate? And all this different stuff. And it's like, but if you know it's bots, then like, why is everybody so involved in these metrics? And it's because it's the only measurement we have. We can measure these things are being used. So if it's not a person using it, but it's just being used, what is the data worth? Well, it's proof of work. It is proof of work, just like Bitcoin. They don't want to call it that because, I mean, it's not cryptography, so it's very different. But it is still the transfer. Like, these data centers are burning resources. The resources are storing data. We are using the data. We are watching the videos. But it's not just us. It's being consumed by phone farms. Those phone farms are also like using up a bunch of energy. This is all proof of work. Everything is an oil company shell. That's it. Like, it's because at this point, that's what everything is based on. But here's where it gets really trippy and where I'm like projecting into the future a bit. So, obviously bots are turning into AI. So that's another big thing here. So we have AI agents, and it's almost like, we're first they're dumb, they're bots, then they're agents, they're still kind of dumb, they're slightly better. The comments you're seeing now and some of the people you're going back and forth with, they are AI agents. They're not real people that you're arguing with in the comments section. Which, sidebar, like, I don't argue with people in the comment sections. I mean, maybe of my own videos, I might talk to people and argue with people, but you will not find me under the comments section of anybody else's video ever making some negative comments and trying to get into an argument with what is most likely not a real person. So have some dignity. Okay, so data has become an abstraction. AI controlling these things still gets lots of traffic. This is proof of work. You're sitting there saying, what is all this worth? Well, abstractions are important. Abstractions allow us to create entire economies. Data is an economy. Even if you know the data is mostly AI agents. But as these agents become more and more able to do things, and more importantly, able to do things on behalf of people, then who cares if the economy's not real? It's just like playing a video game. If you're already living at your desk, abstracting everything away, you trade stocks on a computer, you work at a computer, you talk to people on social media that you'll never meet, your entire life has become an abstraction. And so these AI agents, whether or not they represent people, doesn't even matter, because the traffic produces energy usage, produces metrics, produces investment, produces economy. And then agents also, this is the other thing that's going to be big, is AI agents aren't going to be able to use bank accounts in traditional stock markets. So what's going to end up happening is that AI agents are going to need to use crypto. So they're going to end up on Solana and Ethereum doing, smart contract stuff. And they're going to create network effects. And that's going to create investability. And you're like, well, what about the people? Does it matter? If an AI agent has a wallet full of money and is spending it, does it matter? And I don't mean does it matter as far as yes, I think it's crazy that we're going to completely, possibly cut humans out of the loop. But already when you look at your metrics on TikTok, on YouTube, you can guess that a large number of those people aren't people at all. You can pretty much guess at least 50% were bots. 50%. I would venture to say at least half. And that's not even if you're paying. That's just because phone farms are going to hit your content. If you're getting fed out to anybody, then you're going to get hit by bots. Period. And we already know that we're not getting fed out to our viewers because our viewers are telling us they're not seeing us. And they're not liking and they're not commenting if they are. So it doesn't even matter, because when you go to any social media and you're trying to look at your metrics, you're getting your feelings up or down based on how many bots have viewed your account. And you're fooling yourself to think that they're humans. Yes, there are some statistical number of humans, but that's what I'm saying is, if you want to be real with yourself, when you're like, oh, I got 500 likes on this thing. No, you maybe got 200 real likes. The rest were bots, at least. And then you get comments under everything that are clearly just bots. Most comments are just rage bait with fake accounts. So... all right, so what is the point I'm making here then? That it's going to go this direction. That we need to actually be true Luddites if we're going to stop this thing you can't just boycott this thing, because if you're on the internet, you're using the data centers. If you store things in the cloud, if you have a 10-year-old social media account, your videos from 10 years ago have been burning a hole in the environment. Period. If you're a person who posts 10 videos a day on TikTok, you are worse than a person who uses one AI prompt a day, because your video will be stored forever, burning a hole in the environment. And someone asking a question on AI on a LLM that already, the burner of the LLM was creating it. Like, what ruined the environment was the creating of the thing. And guess what? Like, they created it when nobody was using it. So that's another reason why boycotts aren't going to stop this thing. You can't just not use the data unless you're literally going to unplug. It means you have to not have a smartphone. You have to not use streaming services. You have to not use YouTube. You have to not use TikTok. And then how do we organize the revolution if we kill the internet? If we all unplug from the internet? So that's the point. Like, we have to take control of these things. We have to seize the means of production. That's it. End of story. The data centers need to be controlled by human beings, by the government, not billionaires. And if we want to actually make a difference, we have to be true Luddites, because the true Luddites weren't just people who didn't use technology. They were people who were more than willing to use the technology as long as you left us in the equation. But since they're not leaving us in the equation, then we have to destroy the machines. That's it. Either we own them or we destroy them. That is the message here. So, man, I like these short, sweet ones, right? I guess stuff like this I could try to do straight on TikTok. TikTok only does 10 minutes. I kept this one to 16. Yeah, I don't know. That's where I'm at with this. I like it. I hope that made sense. If it didn't, ask me some questions. I can certainly bridge any gaps. I hope that I did, though. And just to recap, do a quick recap. Like, money is an abstraction. Bitcoin as proof of work. Data as proof of work. AI agents and bots produce work the same as humans. An economy will thrive without humans because there are AI agents and bots to produce data, to produce proof of work, to use internet money to move economies. That's it. I'm not saying that it's a good thing. It's definitely a weird dystopian thing. But, I guess this is the other thing. Let me not end on a negative note. Let me end super positive. So that is the negative road we're on. But the positive road that we're on, what it could be, is that is how you reach an economy of abundance. Suddenly it doesn't matter, like, the economy money needs to be tied to real resources. But when you can tie the economy, when you can have this abstraction that creates more and more abundance based on digital wealth, because you can have a lot more in the digital than you can have in the physical realm. And you can move faster. You can move at the speed of light. You can move at the speed of information. So we can actually, the better thing here is we create a better future for everyone in which an economy based around data and proof of work and immutable ledgers and transparency, we can actually create a future that is more inclusive, that does allow for there to be a range without there being, without the bottom range being death, imprisonment, slavery, homelessness, starvation. Like, we can put a lower rung without, we do actually, like, we do need a maximum wage too. There does need to be some degree of, and it's not even about the number. There has to be a degree to which your money can have an effect on the real world. End of story. We are growing into a more awakened and intelligent species, and that's going to mean, like, not acting like animals, not committing genocides, not allowing homelessness and slavery and every form of dehumanizing systems that we've created to just have control. It's just a control mechanism. So that's my positive note is we Luddites, we who love technology but want to seize the means of production, that's what we need to do. And we need more people on the left who embrace technology and see this thing to be able to do that. And that's the future I hope for. So let's fight for it, my friends. See you next time.